I have been thinking on the type of content that I consume and the influencers, or what I like to call lifestyle vloggers, that I follow, and what exactly is it about them that I find interesting or so alluring, but because I seem to tend to go for a certain type of person to watch over and over again. I think that if we look underneath the surface, most people do this, it just looks a little different. So a lifestyle female vlogger in their late 20s is going to be more appealing to one certain kind of person, maybe like a more feminine energy person, but guys do it too, except that they'll watch like their favorite streamer who talks about a certain type of content that they're interested in, who plays a certain kind of game, and that could be like video games, that could be like gym, that could be even just like entrepreneurship, or that could be someone that you consider like a mentor and that you're learning how to make money from. It comes in all different ways, but essentially it's all the same thing. I've made videos in the past about how harmful social media is, and I do agree to a certain extent, but I recognize within myself that there's a reason why. Even though I don't have most social media, or I don't regularly use whatever I do have, I always come back to YouTube. When I come back to YouTube, watching more long form content and connecting with certain people. I don't know that exactly all social media is all that bad, because if I'm like in a really depressive state to where I know I can't get myself out of this mental block that I'm processing, if I can't get the willpower to leave the house, to say hello to the neighbor, to meet up with a friend, and I'm just here and all I can do is click a button on this tiny screen, when I do, there is a certain energy that the person possesses, that they are portraying and giving out into the world. It's not just about what happens, it's not just the jokes, the entertainment, or the aesthetics. It's the feeling that you get, it's the immersion. This isn't just about YouTube, but I can confidently say this. YouTube is in a way an energy exchange. Not always. Obviously there's a lot of like shallow, especially short form content, but in a sense, you can look at it that way. See, I exchange my time and my attention, and that person is gonna gain money from it. Even if I don't buy a product, they will at least get some AdSense or something along those lines. In exchange, as a viewer, they give me something of serenity, something of like a mental wholesomeness, and I get to see what it is like, how normal and sane and whole and calm they are, and I get to feel the things that make them feel inspired. Like somebody I watch, oh my god, I forgot her name, Alison Bickerstaff. She creates a world in which you can just escape from your problems and just let yourself like be easy and lighthearted, and she consciously sets the intention for things to be that way. And so sometimes when I watch that, I feel again the sense of calm serenity, of the possibility of this kind of lifestyle existing. And I feel this way about many other people. Well, actually not a lot, I don't really watch a lot of lifestyle vloggers if I'm being honest, but that gives me something. It's not just about, ooh, I want to try that cute arts and crafts. It's about the immersion, and that I come back out of it feeling a little bit lighter, forgetting my problems just a little bit, just enough to get me to try to do something different. And if you let it, that can inspire you to make a better change. And I've thought about the flip side of this, which is that all the time that I have spent watching lifestyle vloggers, what if I had just cultivated stronger friendships, or I had met more people in my day-to-day life? Maybe I wouldn't feel so socially isolated. But at the same time, like, there's a lot of people that I've met in my life that I've considered good friends that have come and gone, and that just happens. This is just a different form of it, and obviously it sounds really parasocial when I'm saying it out loud. It's not that this is a friend per se, obviously that's not. It's not a real friendship in a sense, but it still gives you some, and in a way, and if you find the right person, it can make you feel less alone. It can give you inspiration. It can help you figure out a way to maybe solve some problems or decide on a new direction for your life. It can help you see what others have done and how those things have worked out for them, and whether or not that is something you feel like you want to try because it resonates with you, or if because of this experience now you can see that you want to try something else. It's just like reading a book. It's just like listening to a story of someone else. You can gain a lot in a way. I guess it's just about like differentiating between that and your actual life, and then having the willpower to move forward and make it into something real for you, and not just staying in front of the screen 24/7. But I really genuinely believe that if you are following, like for me, like I don't know, 5, maybe 10 people, how often do they post? Once or twice a week for, you know, a 10 to 20 minute video? That can take up a few hours of my life, but that cannot be my full life. And so I do think like that's very different, especially if it's someone with a positive message, than someone who's just only promoting basically like a walking ad, like their life is just all the products that they use. But when it's actually like a journey, a lifestyle, like I tend to watch a lot of women that are like just below 30 years old that live like around Florida, and that gives me the sense of being able to experience something that I wish I could but I cannot. Like I would have to just move on my own and leave behind my partner, my family, all my loved ones. But I've always wanted to live in that tropical weather that I grew up in and that I miss, and to have like a beautiful sunny aesthetic and like not feel the seasonal affective disorder that comes from living in this New York metro area. You know, I've just always wanted to know what that's like, and seeing how people are, what they do, and then having been able to like visit a few times myself, I can kind of make peace with the fact that maybe that could be for me, or maybe that it's not, and I can make happiness in my own way where I am right now, because it isn't really about the weather, it's about being close to my loved ones, and there are things to appreciate where I currently am. But if I just kind of wondered it in my head and I had no clue, you know, I'd be just kind of more so living in a fairy tale than I am now. So I guess what I'm trying to say is not all social media is bad. And I think deep down, like, we know. And that's why all of these YouTubers that say quit social media, detox social media, are still using it. You still see them posting. You still see them online from time to time. It's not good to be addicted. I don't agree with most social short form content. I don't think it's good to lay in bed and watch cat videos all the time. But is it really so bad when you're in a low mood to just open up an app and watch a cute cat video for 10 minutes and then brighten your mood and then go on to do something else with your day? Because if that's not there, if we're being quite honest, and you are really struggling, something is gonna fill that hole no matter what. So you're gonna maybe take up drugs or alcohol, or you're gonna take up being addicted to video games or books or whatever it may be. You're going to cope some sort of way. Is that really the worst way to cope though? It's not good to be addicted. Again, I will never say, oh, it's fine to be addicted to social media. But is it always really so bad? I think really the issue comes with wanting a sense of control over what you're exposed to. I think that's really what we're lacking. Like, nobody wants to, let's say they went through an assault and then they're just trying to escape the dark thoughts that are going through their mind, and then they see like this, I don't want to say specifically, but you know, like the certain type of mentalities of some people of the opposite gender, type of controversial things, or like judgments and comments on people. Like, nobody wants to be exposed to anything and everything, and it really comes down to, it's not easy to curate what you're gonna see. The algorithm is always going to try to expose you in different directions, to try to keep your attention there, to find more things to hook you, to get an emotional reaction out of you. But if there was a way that we could control that, or that maybe we could go somewhere where it actually feels safe, and that you know you're not going to be triggered or see things that make you more depressed or that feel completely mindless, but that you can actually curate your experience to be like positive and uplifting in any way other than just simply only tuning into specific people, there wouldn't be as much of a problem with social media, in my opinion. And it just depends on what is the interest. Is the interest simply making money above all else, or is like people's individual happiness taken into account? Because at the end of the day, it's a lie that people just have like all of this accountability for each and every one of their emotions. You can't control the entirety of your environment. Only so much of it is your fault, is what I'm trying to say. So I'm just This is like a call out into the void. If anyone actually cares, you would make it so that people could control certain things from appearing, from bringing them down, from triggering them. You would give people more control over the experience on YouTube, on different platforms. I think it's just that. It's the lack of control, the lack of autonomy. You can't just hook people and then expose them to things that are going to leave them worse than you found them for the sake of profit. That's the real problem. So with that being said, I want to try to make lifestyle content, and it's gonna be a bit of a learning curve for me. I've tried to make a few vlogs, as you've seen, and not all of them have been exactly the best, but that's something that I continually keep feeling drawn to. So I will do my very best to not be depressed anymore, and to be honest, and to actually entertain or educate and share my real self with you guys. And I think that will help me be more consistent. To be honest, I have been filming a lot of lifestyle type content and just babbling to the camera because it's a very different way of expression from these like long speeches or essays that I give to you, and that's just something that I have to get accustomed to. So thank you for watching, and I will see you very soon. Bye.